Hello, John here again, and welcome to episode 13 of Tutorial 37, which is the Hunchback Community Game Development Series. Right, so in the previous episodes we managed to convert a ball into a man, and then we got that man walking around his scene, and then we got the scene to move with the man. Well, that's all well and good, but that's just showing you the basics of how to do image manipulation in PyGame and how to control that image. But now we've got to get serious. We've got to start thinking of how we're going to build this game. So the first thing that we really want to do, we want to build a game template. Now the reason why I say we're going to build a game template is that when we finish doing this, if you guys are still inclined to write, still want to write PyGame games, then the game template will come in handy. I'm going to use it because I'm going to write Defender. I've decided I'm going to be writing Defender in PyGame before I do it in 6502. So I want to make sure that we've got a working template that we can use straight off the bat and not have to think about how to structure it. So we're not going to do one file. No. Not like, when we was just working on the moving the man around the screen, it was one big file. It would just get too big. So what we're going to do, we're going to split it up into different files, and we're going to make them into classes. Now I know I said we weren't going to use any flashy, high-level structured language commands and stuff like that. But trust me, we're not going to use classes as classes. We're only going to use them as placeholders. So when we convert it to 6502, we've already got the placeholders. And what I mean by placeholders is this. Yeah? Let's get me mouse. This is placeholders. They are modules. Like in Neptune Lander, we had a module for the Lunar Lander. We had a module for the game flow. We had a module for the memory. We had a module for the maths. We had a module for the screens, sprites. We had a module for scoring, and so on and so forth. And that's what we're going to do in PyGame. We're gonna have classes. And I've said the classes, but it's irrelevant because we're going to have classes which are going to have functions in. And those classes will reflect in 6502 as a module. So the functions inside the module will be in the class, will be in that module. So, keyboard detection will be in the module for the player and stuff like that. So it's a way for PyGame to modularize everything, but you have to sort of create a class to do it, and it's dead easy to do, and it won't be a problem when we come to convert it, right? Because like I say, we're only using the class structure to reflect the module structure when we go into 6502. So we're going to try and have a file that contains one class, and that would be for player class, for game class, for aliens, an alien class, settings, a setting class, memory, and so on. So what we're going to do for the game template is we're not going to do all those. We're going to do these. And in fact, I'm not sure if we're going to be doing the aliens, to be honest, because not every game would have an alien, would it? Yeah. We might not do that. We'll definitely do the player. Do the game. Might do the alien. Don't know. But they're the ones that we're going to start off with the template. And main is not going to be a class. That is the program that we run to make this all work. Yeah, and so it will always be called main. Right then. let's go to the Pi. It's all fired up, it's whirring in the background. Here we are. Just make sure I'm still on the screen. Yes, I am. Right, so if we load what we've already got. Come on. Here we go. So we did. This was the last one. Git lens keeps firing up. Yes, I got it. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We did everything. Don't show you again. We did everything in one file. So everything's there. So the man, all the logic for the man's there. All the logic for the screen's there. All the logic for the controls are there. All the logic for the setup's there. All the logic for all the properties are there. And I mean, even though we've just got one man wandering around the screen, it's 143 lines long. And that's just to get a man wandering around the screen. So we need to split it up and make it into a format that we can easily access in Python, and also to be able to, you know, easily convert in a manner to the 6502 system. So let's create a directory. What should we call it? What should we call it? Templates? Can we call it template? Okay. Oh. And of course I didn't want to do it in there. Good job. Good job. I want to do it in there. So template. Right, so we've started our new directory. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create our main. So here we go, file. So we're going to create a file called main.py, and this will be our main program. So of course we have to do import PyGame as PyGame, PG for PyGame. Now, did I do that? No, I didn't. Right, what this is doing is we're going to shorten PyGame. So wherever we need to type in the word PyGame, we can now just do PG. It's like giving it a name and stuff like that. We need to import random, so we can do all the random stuff, and yeah. Yeah, that'll do for the moment. So, first things first, settings. So, we need to create another file and call this settings. And .py. And what we're going to do in settings is we're going to put all the constants and settings we're going to be using for the game. So, for example, and I've noticed when I've been reading the books that any sort of setting is always in capitals. So, title equals title. Yeah? So, this could be the title of the game. Of course, screen width 600. Screen height. Screen height 400. Frames per second. So we tell it how many frames per second. Then let's define the colors. Let's define the basic colors. So we got white. We have black, red, No, reverse. Red, green, blue. So they're the primaries. Then we've got yellow, orange, brown. Can't spell brown. They were the primary colours, weren't they? Hang on. Let me go back to one of my earlier slides. Oh, yellow, cyan, magenta. That was it. Right, let's go back to yellow, cyan, magenta. Right, so we have to make them tuples or whatever they're called for 3 values. Triples or... Oh. So let's do this. And I think I accidentally run it then. Right, so white is 255, 255, 255. Black is 0, 0, 0. Red is 25500 because it's red, green, blue. So green is obviously 0, 2550. Blue is 0, 0, 255. Now I'm going to cheat because I need to know what the other ones are. Right. So yellow's red and green, cyan, green and blue, blue and red. So yellow, red and green. So yellow is 255, 255, 0. Cyan is 0, 255, 255. And magenta is 255, 0, 255. Right, so that's defined some colours. So there's the setting. There's some of our basic settings that we need. Then we need a game template, and the game template is going to control everything about the game. So let's create another file. Game.py. So obviously we're going to have to do this PyGame as PG and import random just in case we need that. We'll also import other modules if we need them. Oh, yes, import settings. Now we've got it. So the way to create a class is you just type in class, give it the name, and I've noticed that classes start with capitals, put colon, and then you do def underscore underscored init underscore underscore open bracket self close bracket colon. Done. That's it. Sorted. Right. So if you remember when we did the man moving around in ball and all that, we had to do some initialization, like PyGame initialization and stuff like that. We've got to do the same thing in the game. So first things first, you know, as soon as we create the or not create the class, but as soon as we instantiate, create an instance. Create an instance is probably the better word. I need a drink. 7 up today. Wow. 0 sugar as well. It's a bit tangy on the tongue. Anyway. So we need to initialize PyGame. We also need to initialize the sound system. Now I've not done the sound before, but that's what you need to do. So because this is a template, we're going to put it in. We need to make it create a screen. So what you do is you say self. That means the game object self dot, I'm going to tell it this is a screen, and we're going to tell it it's the same thing as before, display dot set mode, open bracket. Now we need to do the tuples, so we can use the settings dot screen. There we go. So it's width first, so screen width, comma, settings dot screen height. So now we've created our screen, which is the same as here. PyGame dot sorry, this one here. Yeah. So we've created the screen, but we've put it in the game module. So we can then say, okay, let's set the title. So pg.display.set caption, and we can set that to settings. Oops. Settings dot title. See, so as you can see that we're not having to worry about what settings we got in settings, because we've sort of made it into a class type thing. VS Code can IntelliSense, and that's one of the reasons why I was saying we'll do it in classes, but we're not going to do any major stuff in classes. Now we need to create the clock. So we need to create the clock and set it to pg.time.clock. So we create our clock, and we want to create a variable called running and set that to true. So we're basically saying the game is running, which is same as here, down here, when we was doing the run through, running equals true and then while running. Yeah. So that's the initialization of the class. Now we want to create a routine, create a function to do new. Put a colon at the end of it. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to create all the assets that we require in the game. So for example, let's put some comments in here. Starts a new game. Then create sprites. Add player. What else do we need to do? Oh yeah, add enemies. Add any other sprites because I can't think. And then what we can do, we can say, right, self, which is game.run. But of course, it's not going to know what run is. So we create a function called run. Self. Now, this function is basically going to run, is going to do the cycling of the game. So we're going to cycle through the game, yeah? So we'll create a new variable called playing. This is basically saying that the game is playing. Yeah. And then we will do while, we'll do the looper. So while self.playing. So while the game is playing, not running, but playing, because there's a difference between running and playing, and I'll go into that in a minute. We're going to say self.clock, which is the thing we just set up, .tick, and we want it to tick for the settings .fps. Where is it? There it is. For the frames per second, and we've got it at 60 at the moment, so that'll be pretty good. Then we want it to do self dot, ooh, got caps on, self dot events. Now we haven't written the function for that yet. So and basically what the events is it looks out for all the control processing. That's what it means by event. Did I press a button? Did I move the joystick? Did I press that? Did I do that? It's the user input. So we're going to have a function dedicated to processing the input. Then we're going to have a function dedicated to updating all the game. So update all the aliens, update all the enemies, update the score, update laser beams, update whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just, this is just the template. And then we'll have another one called draw. Yeah, just like in this game, in what we did here. So this lot here is the events. Yeah, events all the way down to here. Then we've got the update, which is all this lot. That's all the update to there. And then we had the draw section. So can you see where the similarities are coming into it now? All right. And with that should be it. Events, do the processing, updating to make sure everything's working, drawing. Yeah. So that should be it. So now what we need to do is we need to create the events. So I should say the events function, events. And in this is going to be the game loop events handler. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the standard one in, right? The standard one in, which is quit. You know, every game needs to have a quit button. So like we did in this game, I think we did it up here somewhere. Yeah, here. It's this lot here. So like we did with this lot, we're going to copy that. And we're going to paste it into there. Get the formatting sorted. Ooh, Control Z. Get the formatting sorted. So, might leave the print in there. So, we're doing a get on the events, and then we're testing the events that come back. Now, when it's quit, we need to, because the game's inside is actually running inside of the main module, we need to test ourselves first. So if self.playing, so are we playing? Yes, we are. Right, self.playing equals false. And then we then set self.running equals false. Right, and I did say I was going to explain the difference between playing and running. Right, the game in itself would be running when you start it up. Yeah, so it'd be running, but you could be at a title screen, so you're not actually playing the game. And so we have two different states. We have the I am running and I'm at the title screen, or I'm at the end screen, and we have playing, which where you are actually playing the game. So we've got the two flags that determine is the game running, and if it is the game playing. So when we quit, we need to say, is the game playing? Yes, it is. Right. Say make it that I'm not. Because if the game is not playing, then we just make self.running false, because it means we're not playing the game. So let's kill it. And that's what those two variables are all about. It's just basically to cater for us quitting out of the game, and so it sorts everything out. Right, so we need another definition, because if you remember we put quite a few there so that we've got the events. So the next one is update, so def update colon, and in here we are going to do all the game loop updates. So basically this is where we update all the aliens, what they're doing, we update the missile if there's one flying, we update our jump status or our walking status and all that clever stuff. And normally we would put a sprite.update in there, and we'll get to that when we talk about sprites. So that's one of the first things you would do in there. So what's the next thing? Oh, draw. Right, so we need another function for draw, and this is basically doing all your drawing. So game loop drawing routine. So this is where we would say, for example, ooh, oh yeah, that's stupid. Mine went blank then. We'd be doing this sort of thing down here. Right, screen.flip, for example, and this sort of thing, you know, window.blit, but we're definitely going to be doing that screen.flip. So we definitely need that in there. So that's a pg.screen. Or is it display? It was display, wasn't it? Display dot flip. So we do the draw command, and that's those four main ones. So going back to the main one now, we need to import game, because we need to use it here in the main to get it going. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an instance, or whatever you want to call it, called G, and it's going to be game.game. So that's created our game screen. Now what we could do in there is say, right, let's do a show start screen function. So that would show a title screen. Then once they've done the title screen, we can do while game.running. See what I mean by the running? Because in the game, well, it's while game.playing. We can say game.new, start a new game. Not a new instance of game, but start a new game. And then the only time we ever come out of this is when game's over. So show game over screen. What else do we need? No, game over. And then basically we need to tidy up like we would do on here. So basically we just need to do these two lines here. So let's copy and paste those. Not in there. In there. But because we've renamed this, it's PG. PG. Now some of you eagle-eyed guys will be going, John, but you've created two more functions. Yes, you're right, and so we need to put them in here. So let's do the first one. So we're going to go def that self colon, and basically what these are just if I spell it's just splash screens. Yeah, so this is the start splash screen of the game. And because we've put nothing in there, we need to put this in there. So that fools Python, we've got something in there. Same with this as well, we need to put pass in there. Oops. So it's basically fooling Python that we've got something in there. Oh, we've got self.run in there. Yeah. And we also need to do the other splash screen. So def, and it's the game over one, I think. Yeah. Show game over screen. Put that in there. Self. And this one is going to show the game over splash screen. Put pass in there because we're going to have no code in there for the moment and we want it to compile. So that's the game. So that's the game template. Not the game. It'd be a very boring game. So this is the game template, but we also need another file as well. So let me close that down. We need another file, but this one is for, what do we need another one for? Do we need another one? Oh, I'm thinking the next video. So we've got settings, where all the settings are. We've got the game, the main one, which is the game module. And then we have the game where we've put all the gubbins for the game. Now it's not going to be, we're not going to put all the functions in for the player. We're not going to put the functions in for the enemies because we're going to create other files for those functions. But this game one is going to handle the looping of the game. So it's very, very similar to the game flow module that we had in Neptune Lander. So it's going to be doing exactly the same thing. So we're going to be working out which, you know, what screen are we in, so what functions do we have to run and stuff like that. Yeah. What time is it? 30 minutes. Oh my god, I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well. I think that's it. We've got the events handling, so this is where we're going to be doing all, or firing all the functions that process the events. This is our looper, which will probably never change. This is our new, so every time we start a new game, it does that. Yeah, this is our template. So settings, it's just basic at the moment, but we'd have a lot more in there, I think. Yeah. Okay. I'm happy with that. Right, so this is our game template. So this is where this is our starting block. So for any game that you wanted to write, this would be the starting framework of creating that game. So that's what we'll do. We'll start creating a game. It's going to be very basic to start with because we need to understand concepts like sprite, because we've not talked about sprite yet. We've not talked about sound and stuff like that. So all these are new concepts. We know about images because that's what we've been doing in the last couple of episodes, where we've been getting a man walking around the screen. That was just moving an image, yeah, but it wasn't a sprite. So even though it looked like one. So this is the true start of developing this game. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hope you guys are as well. Right. Half an hour video. I'm doing well. If you like the video, click that like button. If you didn't like the video, fine. Hit the dislike button. Always leave me a comment. And if you'd like to support me and the channel, then consider becoming a patron of mine. All the money raised in the channel is used for the channel. And with that, I'll see you for the next episode. Take care. Bye. I'd like to thank all the Patreons that are contributing to my channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. Thank you very much.